We're going to try something different. My sister, God bless her, she got this wee vlogging thing for my birthday, and it's just a wee tripod with a light on the top of it. So I'm just going to try this out to see how it works out with the noise and stuff like that. Anyway, why am I wearing my Marvel jammies? These one of the ones that I had on in prison. I had Star Wars ones on in prison, and that sounds silly, doesn't it? But do you know what? It was dead funny at night time. One of the best times of day for me was to stand at my cell door and just watch and just look and just see the madness, the friendships, the who was getting one over and who, the folk that were doing their wee jobs, the passman jobs and things like that, busy about their routine. And most folk in their jammies, It's quite something to see 60 or 70 grown men just bobbing about in clobber like this. So anyway, that gives you again another insight into why the jails are full of neurodivergent people. Anyway, that's not a reason, that's just a fact that they are full, and that's proof of it. Anyway, something will need to be done about that, by the way. In actual fact, the girl, I went to a thing called All Things Poetry, and the teacher there was called Becca, and she was lovely. She was only young. She wasn't even 30, but she'd been an English teacher and stuff like that, and now she was working in the academy. And there was only me and this other guy. I'm not going to say his name, but and Becca, the teacher. And I knew, because I'd written a couple of poems before I went into prison, I thought, right, that's definitely something I'm going to have a wee bash at here, like, you know. And I tried it and I loved it. And in actual fact, we just spent, I don't know how long, 4 months, 4.5 months maybe, usually on a Thursday second session, I think it was. The three of us would just be in a class, usually just on our own. Sometimes somebody would bob in because they enjoyed the company, they enjoyed the chi of the place, the flow, if you like. It was a really good vibe in there because me and the other boy, he got better and better and better at writing poetry, and I hope so did I as well. It was a really encouraging class to go to, and Rebecca she tried to teach us stuff, but I think she immediately recognised that there was more to this class than just ticking off little boxes for her to say what she'd done. And I think what she was getting out of it as well, about learning about neurodivergence, listening to all my madness, and also the other boys as he grew. It was just a brilliant class. Anyway, so from standing, I mean, it must, in hindsight, what a brilliant place it was, because all I do and all I've done my whole life is sort of study people to try and work them out and try and blend in. Isn't that terrible? But I've never really understood why I did it, and since my diagnosis, that's given me like a rubber stamp to understand and to think back and to heal, really. And my body feels as if I've gone through so many changes just now. It's been like tense for so many years now, probably 4 years, maybe solid, maybe 5 years, I don't know. Certainly 4 years, that's for sure. And that's all behind me now, and it's such a relief to be able to just, and that takes a long time, because when something's been under that amount of compression for so long, you know, it starts to take up that shape. It doesn't just boing straight back out like a spring, but it will come out. The body's a fantastic thing. You've just got to repair it properly, and I'm doing all I can just now, and this helps me blabbering away to folk. So as I said, I've already banged a couple of videos out today. I might put this out today or tomorrow, I don't know, probably the day, because that's just what I do. If I make it, I stick it out. I just wanted to try out this little rig here. You want to see me try to set this up for a guy who used to set cranes up for a living. You wouldn't have believed it, eh? You wouldn't have given me a ticket if you'd seen the way I'd rigged this up. However, it's it's holding fast just now, so fingers crossed. And I'm going to read you a poem. I've shared it already, but I'm going to read it again. I don't know if you can hear that music in the background or not. It's my praise music just going off in the background, but I'm just going to leave it. And it's called Lock Up, the poem. It was the guard's favourite one, and most of the boys' favourite poem as well, to be honest with you. Anyone that I read it to, I think they preferred me to read it, because I used to pass them about the wing and whatnot. Just if somebody was bored at night, they might want to have a wee read at something, different, to get into maybe what their own mind might be. But anyway, so I wrote this because I just seen, as soon as one of the guards had shouted, "Lock up," at about 8:30 or something like that, and by 8:45, the guards wanted everybody double checked, everybody locked up, you're in, right, and then clunk, clunk, right, you're still in. They do a count and whatnot, and it's for them to go off home and whatnot. And I used to just sit there and watch it, because they'd have to go all the way around and then back here first of all. And it was dead funny, because if you just wanted to laugh, you would just dive into somebody else's cell, and they would come by and they'd have a wee look and you wouldn't be there. And so there's no many things, and maybe rightly so. As I've said before, it's the loss of your liberty. It's the punishment, not how you're treated while you're there. And sometimes the little things like having a laugh and hide and seek and whatnot at dub up time was maybe what got folk through. But I loved it. I love to see it. I just love to see all the younger ones diving about, and it was dead funny. Anyway, so it was brilliant for me, because I got to be so experimental in there, for someone who studies people, and I never knew that's why, but I now I do. And in there, I just used to watch you, and I used to just to take it all in. I'll never speak about anybody's names or anything like that, that's for sure, but it was a fascinating experience for me. Horrendous, the most horrific experience I've ever had to endure before, but as I said, but by the grace of God, I'm still here. Anyway, enough said. I'm going to read out to you Lock Up, and I hope you can hear it all right. Lock up, the shout came, with a wry smirking smile. The cons are all out, chase them down, take a while. We spread out and scatter like hunting for shatter, but that's not the game though, the game doesn't matter. The ones on the pipe, like sore thumbs and mad hatters. They stick out, you see, from the normals and madness, eyes all glazed over, like they're dying from sadness. They're coming to get me, they're gathering round. I need into my Peter, 6 feet down underground. Clunk goes the handle. It's okay, you'll be sound. The youngsters run feral, still dodging about. The screws clocking numbers, the game is afoot. Like mothers and fathers putting children to bed. Kick the arse out the dub up, slow it down to the pantry instead. Miss, I'm just heating milk up for me and Big Ted. No, this time, you bugger. You said that last night. Metaphorical arse kick, for a laugh, not a fright. One by one gathered up from the day that's now done. Alone in our gaffs, reflecting, anger, tear-ups, laughs, all for fun. The lock-up game's over. Here's a shocker. The cons never won. See you in the morning. Start the day, another UTI warning. Let's lock up. They called your cell your Peter because of the handle or something like that. And a UTI is under the influence, and loads of folk used to get it. They used to just get banged up at night time. And then, not so much in the second wing I was in, but in the first wing, poor Lomond Sea, they used to just get banged up. They had nowhere to keep putting people, so our wing was allegedly drug-free and violence-free and whatnot. Although, I'll tell you something, man, the times it nearly kicked off. But as I said, it was run by the prisoners, thankfully, and I think the guards know that. It's just something I would never have understood unless I'd been in there. So that's me done. I hope you enjoyed that. And by the way, I was going to cut my hair off, I don't know how long ago, because it was starting to recede, and I thought, you know what, I'm just going to shave it all off. But I'll tell you something, I'm 51 and my hair looks alright, And I'm glad I didn't do it, eh? I'm glad I just stuck it out. I just grew it out because it makes me feel all right. This feels like who I should be after all these years, eh? So if there's anybody listening to this that's making rash decisions, just take a beat, take a breath, step back a bit, and do your best. And do as I say, don't do as I do, because that's probably no something I would do myself. I just can't. I'm mental. Right, take it easy. Time's short. All the best to you.